For the lesson today, what we're going to do is go over how to assess vitals, two basic vitals, um, pulse and respiration. Your dad informed me that you wanted to learn about how the body works. Okay, so from what you know about assessing a pulse and respirations of the body, how does that, or how does a pulse and respiration help us know about how the body is doing and performing?
So when you check your pulse, you can see like how many heartbeats per second, seeing if your heart's working right, or like if it's going overtime or not working right. You can tell right with your pulse.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. So if someone has lost a lot of blood, or if they fainted, passed out, um, how might you think the heart will respond when the body is going through a situation like that?
Would it be slower?
Well, yeah, it will definitely change. It definitely, yeah, it slows down a bit. So if you're, why do you think it would change? Why would it slow down?
Because your whole body isn't functioning. So like you're not moving. Like even when you sleep, you're moving more than you faint, pass out.
It's the right idea. Um, so like when you go through something like shock, let's say you passed out because of a loss of blood, you have a victim like that. What the body is doing is trying to compensate, and so what happens is you lose blood in certain areas of your body, and the heart is trying to shoot out as much blood as it can. Like it pulsates and will beat stronger, and will send blood out in a different way. And sometimes it might be a little slower. And in that case, the pulse will be a little lower, like you just said. Also, let's see here. Now you showed me a way in which you can take the pulse. Um, do you know what that's called?
No, I don't.
Okay. So this part, when you take a pulse from this part of the body, that's the radial. That's you're targeting the radial artery.
Okay.
Do you know any other parts of the body where you can take the pulse?
Pretty sure now it's like here or something.
Yes. Yeah. So right here, there is what you call a carotid artery, Caraotid. Just feel for it first. It's going to be right here. If you if you guide up like from your neck, it's going to be in the inside.
Uh,
Do you feel beating?
yeah.
Okay. And then feel for your radial pulse. Okay. Can you feel it on yourself there?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do a little exercise. All right. I want you to run in place and see exactly what the difference is. Now take your pulse right now. We'll look at just count for a few seconds. And I'll look at the clock and tell you to stop. Okay. Ready and start. Okay. So how many beats did you feel there?
I felt like 17, 18-ish.
Okay. That's right on target. It should be right there. Okay. Now I want you to get up and run in place. Run your hardest, run your hardest. Run. Okay, now do jumping jacks. Okay, that's it. All right, now we'll take a pulse again. And start. Okay. Did you count?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your number?
At like 1920.
1920? Should be a little higher. That was a different example. But why do you think your heart, your pulse rate will change after exercise?
Because when moving your body, your heart has to pump faster to get more energy.
Your heart will shoot out more blood. It's being exercised, like it's being stimulated, and so it'll send blood out at a faster rate. And so there are different types of people will have different heart rates. What do you think the differences may be in the body type?
Age.
Age, that's a good one.
I don't know, male or female maybe?
Male and female, yeah, sometimes they do vary. They vary at ages. How about if someone, like we just did a little exercise, is it different between those?
Who exercise a lot and who don't exercise a lot.
Exactly. And why might that be?
Because people who exercise a lot, their heart rate will probably be faster because they move their body more. And then people who kind of the heart doesn't need to pump as much blood because they're not moving.
That's what you're doing. That's exactly right. And sometimes, like with athletes, their pulse range will be lower. It's surprising. Like sometimes their pulse rate will be lower than the average because their heart doesn't have to beat as much to send blood. Like it has a harder pulse, so the heart is working a little stronger. So that's what they mean by a healthy, strong heart. So we'll go over different ways to take your pulse. Okay, so we know, do you remember what artery it was? Starts with an R. Radial.
Radial, that's what it was.
I'm going to teach you something to help you remember that. Okay, so radial, what part of the body is this on?
Your wrist.
Wrist. Radial wrist. Okay, and then there's another part to take your pulse on. It's called the brachial pulse. And so it's going to be inside here. You're going to have to feel around for it because it's a little trickier to find. The more you grow, the harder it is to find. Like it's a little easier to find in children, but you're going to look for it in the inside of your arm. Let me know if you can find it. Yeah, it's kind of faint, and so that's why. Which one do you think is best to take on an adult? The radial.
Radial wrist.
And so, in the inside of your arm, who do you think might that be a better area to take the pulse on?
Children.
In children. It's a little stronger in children, and also, if you think of a baby, we'll go over with my daughter in a bit. Sometimes their faces are a little puffy.
Like they are.
Fat faces.
Chunky cheeks.
Yeah.
I have such cheeks when I was a little one.
So you can visualize. Why might that be a problem when you take the pulse right here at the carotid artery?
Because it's harder to feel because it's not as skin.
Exactly. It's like they have a little more fat there, and so it's harder to get depending on the child. And so you're going to want to remember that whenever you come across a situation where you're taking some pulse, whether they're an adult or whether they're a child. So next, let's see. We're going to go over pulse rates and respirations as well. So we'll do more respirations. Okay. So do you know the best way to check someone's respirations?
What's a respiration?
That's a good question. So when you breathe in, you breathe out.
Oh.
That's that's respiration for yours. Do you know exactly what's going on when you're breathing in?
You're taking in oxygen to your lungs.
Okay. You're taking in oxygen to your lungs, and the oxygen goes out into your blood. It will go into your blood cells. It's necessary for the rest of your body to function. You'll learn about that the more you learn about the human body. And so there are different ways to take someone's respiration, you can use this device, which is a stethoscope. But in an emergency situation, when someone sees this, the respirations might be different. You know why that might be?
Because you know that your body knows what they're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like like you just said, like you'll know what you'll be doing, and so you'll be breathing differently. Like the doctor goes to listen to you, and being very dramatic, and sometimes you'll breathe in harder than you usually do.
Yeah, I remember at that when my sister went to the doctor. First, the doctor was like, "You can't pee," and then like she got all freaking out of pee, and so they asked her to like walk normally down the hall. And then she started doing this funky little walk thing because she knew they were watching her pee, and so she's like,
she started being
she's like
a little, she's
stomping,
acting,
and then like,
being very dramatic about it.
yeah.
Move the chair a little more. So it's the same thing with respirations. When you take someone's respirations in an emergency situation, you don't want them to know that you're taking respirations. You have to be a little sneaky about it, just like with the doctor's office. And so the best way to do that is just to look at the person. You might want to look at their chest and see how frequently they're breathing. At the same time, you're going to have to look at the clock and see how many times they do that in a minute. So sometimes you may not have enough time to do that in a minute. So how might you reduce that?
Every seconds, maybe?
Exactly. You can take a set of vitals in 30 seconds, 15 seconds. If you take them in 15 seconds, how many times would you have to multiply that by?
4.
Exactly. Faster than me. And so if you take them for 30 seconds, how many times would you have to multiply that
By 2.
by 2? So we're going to do a little exercise here, just with assessing our own pulse and respirations. All right. So what I will do is I'll sit here and breathe, and then we'll take the time. Can you see the clock?
And then wait until it gets to 30 seconds.
You're going to go for 15 or 30. How many respirations was that?
Between 5 and 6.
5 and 6 in 15 seconds? How many respirations would that be in 30 seconds?
So 5, that's just 6. So 6, that's 5, right? So 5,
6.
4. 24.
In 30 seconds, 6 respirations in 15.
Oh, no, that's not. So if there's 6 and 15, so if you times it by 2, you'll get 12,
Yeah. Okay, and so you already did the math for a minute.
24.
24. There you go. So it's just, you don't want to ask them because you'll be breathing even more. But you just want to do it nonchalantly, just be very sneaky about it.
As if they know.
We'll breathe more.
You guys.
Okay. And so with the pulse, we'll do the same exercise here. Check your own pulse. We'll watch the clock. We'll shoot for 15 seconds here.
If the pulse is the same as like you do this,
When you're checking the heart, it's the same. You can check the person's heart. It's going to be on the left side of the body here. So if you feel on the left side, you can feel your heart. But we take the. Do you know why we don't just listen to the heart to get to find out their range?
because like it's at different times.
It's at different times, but through the blood. Just think about the blood, where it's going.
Oh yeah, so bad.
So if we can gauge how the person's pulse is down by their wrist, then, we can kind of figure out how fast the body is sending blood to other areas in the body.
Because if you do it here, that's just it's like out. I don't know when it's gonna reach here or here.
You're right. It'll be a little different. Like you want to understand how the blood is oxygenating the rest of the body. Like if it's doing it at a slower rate, is it doing it at a faster rate? But this is definitely good. Like if you can touch the person's heart to see how hard how their heart is beating, how healthy it is, or how weak it is.
So that's why like when you're like running or exercise afterwards, it's like you can almost like feel your heart beating inside you. It's beating so strongly. You can like feel it. You can like, feel it inside you.
Have your siblings or your parents ever scared you? Like startled you? Like walk around the corner and you didn't know they were going to be there?
One time, it's one of us is going down the stairs and he's going up and the other person and we're like that and it's oh.
Yeah. So in that case, your heart is, you can feel it in your chest, but it's also, fight. It's what they call flight or fight. Like you're either going to pass out, your body's trying to compensate, and it's alerting the rest of your body. It's saying, hey, we need blood, we need to be active, and you're going to need to run. And so we're going to oxygenate the rest of your blood and send it across your arms and your legs, everywhere, so that you're powered up and ready to go when you're scared. So we're going to continue on with the exercise with the pulse. We'll take our pulse for 15 seconds and give you the number. Exactly. So we'll start. When do you want to start?
Let's start from the
12. We'll go for 15 seconds.
I got like 16.
16? Okay. Big math here. So if you multiply that by 2 in 30 seconds.
34?
34. Yeah. So if you multiply that in a minute, by a minute,
4, 68.
I'll have to do the math myself. That sounds close. So 34 by 2. 68. 68 beats per minute.
You have to like draw. I'm like drawing the like whenever there's a planning to do, you always forget the number you already did. So it's like drawing it later.
So here's a bit of a mental test here.
Okay.
So when you're taking someone's vitals, like for the pulse and respiration, in a difficult situation, let's say someone cut themselves or something like that. You take your pulse and you know you don't have much time to react, so you round the numbers. Is that a good thing to do or not?
It's like really super intense, so probably wouldn't want to round it.
Exactly. Why might that be?
But it's rounding gives you a different answer. So it's in a bad situation, you want to know exactly. You don't want to say, well, it's in between this and this. You want to know exactly. If it's kind of there, but not like immediate help, like if you don't need immediate, if it's not super immediate, but it's still pretty dire, it's okay to like, but like, if it's super immediate, then you would probably, if it's like, one of those numbers, you just try to do it really fast.
Okay. And you don't want to round numbers at all. Because if you round them, you just want to give accurate as much, be as accurate as you can.
Because you don't want to miss it. Well, it could be this with this. If you're looking at 10, if it's 5 and you have 10, that's 5. That's 5. That's a big difference. If it happens more than once, or you round 5, or run like 5 or like 4, it can get pretty off.
Definitely. All right. So if you you did well with both assessing your own pulse and respiration. We're going to bring in my wife Shoshana and Eve to take their pulse and respirations. Do you think you're up for that? Okay, I'll try. You sit there. Just you can sit. And Mariah will take your pulse and respiration.
So it's the put on the start time. It's the radio.
You can take
And
your,
I was radius,
there you go. That's the smart
radio radius wrist.
That's good thinking right there. So what's your pulse?
I got 15.
15? Okay. And how many seconds was that?
That was 15.
15 seconds. So how many?
So 16. 16 times 4. So I'll do 2 first. It's 32. 32 plus 2 is 64.
Exactly. Okay. All right, now count her respirations. How many respirations?
So 8 times 4, I can do that. Yeah, it's just 12.
Okay, 12 in 1 minute. So based on that, how do you think her body is performing right now?
Because that's like the average set.
She's rested. She's doing well. Right, now this might be a little difficult. But we'll see how you does.
I
Okay. So we'll try and assess Evie's pulse and respiration.
Which one do you do?
Eve, well, see if you can feel for her brachial pulse first.
What's that? Isn't that like this?
There you go.
Is it working? You hold out your arm like this. I got 13.
13? Okay.
12-ish.
All right. And so in 1 minute, how much is
So
it?
12 times 4 is 28.
Right. So it's 48. Okay. And check for her respirations as well.
At
4. So how many?
It's 26.
So how might that be a little difficult to watch a child's respirations? Yeah, they're very active. And she was speaking while we were taking respiration, so that might throw it off a little bit. Go back, come on. Okay. Take this on.
Bye, Evie.
Say bye. So, let's see, You did very well on those assessments. What I want you to do is to take this home with you, and I'm going to give you a challenge, a little assignment. I want you to go home and assess either you can go assess your friends, there's 3 people, your friends or your family, anyone, and check their range. On this sheet, what you have here is different ages and what the average pulse rate and respiration rate will be for that age group.
I think so. I'm just gonna say I notice patterns. They seem to get less as we get younger.
That's a great observation.
Older.
Yeah,
There's a newborn is 130, and the older adult is like 70. So that's 70%. It's probably because for a newborn, their bodies are like new and sort of like stuff, and they're a lot more active.
that's right. That's right. They're very active. Their bodies work in a different way, and so their heart rate will be a lot higher. And so if you can find someone from a different age group, that would be perfect. But what I want you to do is to write the person's first name, their pulse rate and respiration on the back.
This is in the
Yeah, that's in the minute increments. And then send this back with your father on either Monday or Wednesday. You can take 2 just in case you lose one. But I want you to report back to me and tell me where you took their pulse, whether it was their radial or their brachial. We'll find a way to remember that. Brachial, think about breakdancing or boxing. Brachial. And carotid. And there are other arteries to take them from. Like there's one called the pedal pulse in your foot. And
these
also,
are the most common, easiest to feel
Yeah.
ones.
yeah, those are the most common and easiest because someone's their feet may smell or they may have shoes on. You don't know. So just again, take that back and report to me. Send that back with your father, and then we'll see how you do. Okay, and I hope that this encourages you to maybe want to look into medical things again, or to just look into how the body works. And I hope this kind of maybe made sense for you. You can use it for the rest of your life. And thank you very much, and have a great day.